Welcome to our channel. In this audio, we are going to read the book on the topic, The Patient Parent, Raising Kids with Love and Patience. May your journey toward patient parenting be filled with growth, grace, and countless moments of connection with your children. Let's dive into the book. Chapter 1, Understanding Patience in Parenting. Mom, can I have a snack? Not right now, we're eating dinner in 20 minutes. But I'm hungry now. I said no. Please, just one cookie. No means no. You never let me have anything. You're the worst. If patience were a muscle, most parents would have pulled it by the third please. But here's what most of us don't understand. Patience isn't something you're born with or without. It's a skill that can be learned, practiced, and strengthened, and it might be the most important skill in your parenting toolkit. What patience really means. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception. Patience doesn't mean letting your children do whatever they want. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or becoming a doormat. Patient parenting isn't permissive parenting. Patience is the ability to tolerate delay, frustration, or suffering without becoming agitated or upset. In parenting terms, it refers to the space between your child's behavior and your response. It's that moment where you choose calm over chaos, understanding over anger, connection over control. Think of patience as a pause button. Your child spills milk, talks back, or refuses to listen. In that split second, patience gives you options. You can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. You can teach rather than punish. You can model the emotional regulation you want your child to develop. The neuroscience of patient parenting. Here's something remarkable. Your patience isn't just about making your life easier. It's literally shaping your child's brain. Recent research from 2024 indicates that consistent, responsive parenting fosters stronger neural connections in a child's developing brain. When you respond to your child with calm presence rather than reactivity, you strengthen neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, and reduce reactivity in the amygdala, the emotional alarm system. Even more impressive, studies show that warm parenting affects the amygdala's connectivity patterns in ways that predict reduced anxiety and depression 15 years later. Let that sink in. The patience you practice today when your child is 5 affects their mental health at 20. Brain development timeline. By age 6, your child's brain has reached 95% of its adult size, but it's far from finished developing. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for impulse control, emotional regulation, and decision-making, fully develop until the mid-20s. This is why your teenager can seem so impulsive, or your toddler has such big feelings. Their emotional brain develops before their thinking brain. There are critical sensitive periods when your patient's responses have an outsized impact. Ages 3, 5, and 9 are windows of opportunity when the brain is particularly receptive to learning emotional regulation. Your consistency during these periods creates foundations that last a lifetime. When you stay patient during a meltdown, you're teaching your child's brain how to manage overwhelming emotions. When you listen without judgment, you're building neural pathways for empathy and communication. Every patient interaction is an investment in your child's emotional architecture. Common myths about patient parenting. Myth 1, patient parents never get angry. False, patient parents absolutely get frustrated, angry, and overwhelmed. The difference is what they do with those feelings. Patient parenting means managing your emotions, not suppressing them. It means taking responsibility for your reactions instead of blaming your child for making you angry. Myth 2, patience means letting kids get away with everything. Not even close. Patient parenting includes firm boundaries and consistent consequences. The difference is how you enforce them. You can say no with patience. You can discipline with empathy. Setting limits isn't the opposite of patience, it's an expression of it. Myth 3, some people are just naturally patient. While temperament plays a role, patience is primarily a learned skill. Those naturally patient parents, they've probably developed strong emotional regulation habits, often through practice and sometimes through therapy. Your temperament is your starting point, not your destiny. Myth 4. Patient parenting creates entitled, spoiled children. Research shows the opposite. Children raised with patient, responsive parenting develop better self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. They're less likely to have behavior problems and more likely to succeed academically. When children feel heard and understood, they're actually more cooperative, not less. Myth 5. I don't have time to be patient. This feels true in the moment. Yelling is faster than having a calm conversation. But impatient reactions cost you time in the long run. They damage trust, escalate conflicts, and create cycles of misbehavior. Patient responses take time up front, but save enormous time and emotional energy over time. The difference between patience and permissiveness. This distinction is crucial. Many parents avoid patient parenting because they confuse it with permissive parenting. Let's be clear about the difference. Permissive parenting has few rules, inconsistent boundaries, and tends to avoid confrontation. Permissive parents struggle to say no and often prioritize being liked over being effective. Children of permissive parents may lack self-discipline and battle with authority. Patient parenting combines warmth with clear expectations. Patient parents set firm boundaries but enforce them with empathy rather than anger. They say no when needed but explain why. They hold children accountable while maintaining connection. Consider this scenario. Your child wants ice cream before dinner. Permissive response. Well, okay, I guess one won't hurt. Impatient response. I already said no. Stop asking or you won't get dessert for a week. Patient response. I know you really want ice cream right now. It's hard to wait. We're having dinner in 15 minutes and then you can have ice cream for dessert. Would you like to help me make dinner so time goes faster? Notice, the patient response includes a clear boundary, no ice cream now, validates the child's feelings, offers an explanation, and provides an alternative. That's not permissive, it's patient. Benefits of parenting for children's development. The research on this is clear and compelling. Emotional regulation. Children develop better emotional regulation between ages 2 and 5 through practice, specifically by watching and experiencing how adults handle emotions. When you model patience, you're literally teaching your child's brain how to calm itself. Children with better emotion regulation skills have fewer behavior problems throughout childhood. Academic success. Emotion regulation directly predicts academic success. Children who can manage frustration and persist through challenges perform better on standardized tests in literacy and math. They have better relationships with teachers and greater productivity in the classroom. Your patience during homework struggles isn't just preventing arguments, it's supporting academic achievement. Mental health. Parental autonomy support and warm, responsive parenting are powerful determinants of children's mental health. The effects extend well into adulthood. Studies tracking children from age 9 through their 20s show that warm parenting during childhood predicts lower rates of anxiety and depression during stressful life transitions. Social skills. Communication quality between parents and children predicts social development from ages 9 through 18. Children who experience patient, empathic listening at home develop better peer relationships, conflict resolution skills, and emotional intelligence. Reduced anxiety. Responsive caregiving during early childhood has broad impacts on brain organization and connectivity. Children raised with patient, consistent responses show lower activation in emotion processing areas of the brain when faced with negative stimuli. They're literally wired to be less reactive and more resilient. Brain-wide connectivity. Perhaps most remarkably, responsive parenting increases functional connectivity throughout the entire brain. It's not just about individual brain regions. Patient parenting helps different parts of the brain communicate more effectively with each other. Case study, Sarah's transformation. Sarah came to one of my workshops exhausted and ashamed. A successful attorney and mother of 2 boys ages 4 and 7, she described herself as constantly angry. Every morning was a battle. Every bedtime ended in tears, sometimes theirs, sometimes hers. "I'm a terrible mother," she told me. "I yell at them for everything. They're going to need therapy because of me." Sarah's triggers were clear: feeling rushed, being ignored, and messes. Her mornings hit all three. She'd wake her sons, ask them to get dressed, then return to find them playing in pajamas. She'd ask them to put on shoes 5 times while frantically packing lunches. By the time they left for school, she'd yelled at least once, and everyone was miserable. We started with trigger identification. Sarah realized her impatience peaked when she felt disrespected. In her lawyer brain, ignoring her instructions was defiance. Understanding child development helped her reframe. Her 4-year-old wasn't disrespecting her. He was getting distracted because his prefrontal cortex was still developing impulse control. She implemented 3 changes. First, she adjusted her expectations. Instead of expecting them to get dressed after one request, she planned for it to take 15 minutes with multiple reminders. This buffer eliminated the rushed feeling that triggered her anger. Second, she created a visual morning checklist with pictures. Her boys could follow it independently, reducing the number of times she had to ask. Third, she started a pause practice. When she felt anger rising, she physically left the room for 30 seconds to breathe deeply. She told her boys, "Mommy needs a quick break to stay calm." 3 months later, Sarah reported dramatic changes. "We still have difficult mornings, but I don't yell anymore. When I feel that anger building, I pause. Sometimes I even catch myself about to lose it and laugh instead. My boys notice too. My 7-year-old told me I'm not scary anymore." The transformation wasn't about changing her children's behavior. It was about changing her response to their behavior. Key TAKAWS. Patience is a learnable skill, not an innate trait. Your patient responses literally shape your child's developing brain. Critical sensitive periods occur at ages 3, 5, and 9. Patient parenting includes firm boundaries. It's not permissive. The prefrontal cortex develops after the emotional brain, explaining many child behaviors. Warm, responsive parenting predicts better mental health outcomes 15 years later. Children learn emotional regulation, primarily by watching how you manage emotions. Every patient interaction builds neural pathways for resilience and self-control. Thank you for listening to the audio. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and share the audio with your friends. If you have any queries, please comment, and we will reach out to you. If you wish to read the full ebook or you need a paperback or hardcover edition, you can click the link in the description. See you in the next chapter. Take care. Bye.